Soulful longevity mindset, redefining aging. Welcome to the second episode of Soulful Longevity. I am your soul line dancing psychologist, Dr. Paula Chandler Paramore. In this episode, we will discuss how to live soulfully as we become a centurion, the strategies for living a soulful longevity lifestyle, and defining aging involves taking care of your mind, body, and spirit, which is done by developing healthy habits. Fan Wrong 2025 believes that it requires living in a clean, healthy environment, free from toxins and free radicals, taking care of your whole body, mind, and spirit requires you to remain physically and socially active. Thime Wrong also believes that good mental health is a requirement for achieving longevity. It is great to have the benefits of a healthy, nurturing environment, but psychological motivation is the key. Lang and Repichet 2019 argues that the desire to live a long and healthy life varies throughout your lifespan, and you become more motivated as you develop. This suggests that as we age, the focus of longevity motivation shifts from pursuing extended time to pursuing meaningful time. And I can relate to the extended time and meaningful time to give an example and a little story of my 15-year-old Yorkie Zyber, who happens to be underneath my feet as we speak. Zyber, as you can see, is blind in one eye because he had a really bad accident. He's 15. He lived a long life. And right now, what matters most for him, or for me rather, is the meaningful time that I spend with him. I spent 15 long years with him, but the 2 extra months that God allowed me to have with him, and maybe a few more months, is more meaningful to me because I hand feed him. I take him to the water. He wears a diaper. I put meds in his eyes, and I give him meds for pain. So this time for me, which is not a lot of time, it's a little bit of time, is meaningful for me. Now, I must stipulate that redefining aging and living soulfully towards longevity begins long before taking supplements, working out, or following diets. According to Hyman 2022, La Brazier and Chen 2024, Logan 2021, and Van Dyke 2025. These authors emphasizes that true longevity grows from a mindset that rejects mental decline and embraces every possibility of renewing the mind. In Hyman's book, Young Forever, references the information that I presented in the first episode of Soulful Longevity. He reintroduces the idea that aging is tied to biological dysfunctions, inflammation, the mitochondrial decline, hormonal imbalances, and metabolic breakdown. Unfortunately, these breakdowns are part of the aging process, and no doctor or remedy can stop it. This is because the aging process is the process towards death. Let's stop, take a moment, and take a breath, and digest what I just said. The aging process is the process towards dying. Nevertheless, Hyman argues that these processes can be slowed and even reversed by targeting the root causes rather than the symptoms. Les Brazier and Chen 2024 reminds us that the body uses plasticity to regenerate brain cells as long as you continue to challenge yourself physically and mentally. In Logan 2021 book, The Natural Way to Longevity adds a holistic layer, encouraging you to connect to nature. You can achieve this by eating healthy foods, getting out in the sun, walking, grounding yourself, and standing by a stream of water or a pond or watching the geese. Meanwhile, Dick Van Dyke's approach is a joyful one. He recommends longevity with enthusiasm, optimism, and purposeful living. Van Dyke's message reminds us that aging well is not only biochemical, but also emotional and spiritual. These healthy habits incorporate feeding your spirit with purpose, joy, and connection. I think that it is important restating that true longevity goes far beyond living long years. It's about aging with intention, grace, and vitality. Without a doubt, engaging in holistic practices will help you thrive physically, emotionally, and spiritually. A good example of this is in Dispenza and Hyman's 2022 video that shares how Dispenza decided to change his mindset and to use his mind to heal his spine after a life-changing accident that crippled him. He examined the reason why he initially was not motivated, which was due to depression. He began to notice how he was feeling, thinking, and acting negatively daily. Dispenza agrees that deciding to change your lifestyle is scary and challenging. But if you desire to achieve soulful longevity, the work is necessary. So Dispenza set out to learn how to teach people to change their mindset. He expressed that thinking about problems is a memory of the past. You can change your thoughts through positive mental rehearsals. This will require neurotransmitters, and your brain will feel that you have already accomplished those positive thoughts. Gratitude helps shift your mindset for the better. You feel what your mind believes, so at times affirmations may not be beneficial because you do not believe what you are saying. You believe what you feel. Your thoughts have the power to make you sick or make you well. People pursue health behaviors more when they feel a sense of purpose, something that Gain Freddy et al. 2025 and Viktor Frankl 1949, his book A Man's Search for Meaning, supports and belief. This means to have the initiative to live a long and healthy lifestyle, which stems from community connection, social engagement, and mental resilience. But going back to Dick Van Dyke's perspective, living a soulful longevity life runs the risk of feeling physically and socially diminished. Wow. Van Dyke shared, because of his very old age, he is unable to travel far from home to attend functions and job opportunities because the preparation drains all his energy. Also, you can imagine being the only one left living among your family and friends. Unfortunately, the physical and social diminish Van Dyke talks about is what statistics tell us about loneliness. Loneliness is prevalent among older adults, and loneliness is an epidemic. There is one more thing to consider when living a soulful longevity lifestyle: having a caretaker. Van Dyke has a much younger wife to care for his needs, and he does not live alone. Just a few things to think about as you strive to live a long life of purpose. Hopefully this video was helpful, and stay tuned for the third episode on Soulful Longevity. Thank you.